It was an ordinary Tuesday morning, quiet and uneventful, when a knock echoed at my front door. I hadn't been expecting anyone. No meetings, no deliveries. Yet standing on the porch was a man in a tailored suit, gripping a manila folder as if it contained something monumental. "Mr. Carter?" he asked. "Yes," I replied cautiously. "I'm here on behalf of your wife. You've been served." For a second I simply stared at the envelope in his hand, unsure I'd heard him correctly. "My wife?" I repeated. He gave a curt nod, his tone all business. "Emily Carter is filing a lawsuit against you for $10 million. The details are in the summons." The world seemed to freeze. "My wife?" Without thinking, the words tumbled out of me. "That's impossible. My wife died 5 years ago." The man stiffened, his grip on the folder tightening as his polished demeanor cracked. I'm sorry, sir. There must be some mistake." "No mistake," I said firmly, keeping my voice calm. "Emily passed away in a car accident. October. 5 years ago." Color drained from his face. His hands trembled as he flipped open the folder, scanning the documents inside. "But I was hired by her legal team. They assured me she was alive." I invited him in. He looked rattled, though for reasons entirely different from mine. As he sat on my couch, rifling through the paperwork, I retrieved a small wooden box from the shelf. Inside were Emily's death certificate, hospital files, and even the obituary clipped from the local paper. I laid them before him. He scanned each one in disbelief. This can't be real. Someone filed the case under her name. They provided ID. A signed affidavit. That's when the chilling realization struck me. Someone was pretending to be Emily. But who? And why? I didn't have to wait long. 2 days later, an unknown number flashed on my phone. I answered, and a woman's voice, sweet, mocking, poured through the speaker. "Hello, darling. Surprised to hear from me?" It wasn't Emily. But the way she spoke, the rhythm, the little inflections, it was someone who knew her well enough to mimic her. There was only one person who could pull it off. Her sister, Vanessa. Vanessa had always lived in Emily's shadow. Jealous, competitive, and constantly measuring herself against her sister. At our wedding, she gave a speech meant to sound charming, but it carried a sharp edge. I still remembered her joke. "If anything ever happens to Emily, I'll be happy to take her place." I never thought she meant it. "Vanessa, what the hell are you doing?" I demanded. She laughed, a cruel sound. "Oh, come on, Daniel. You don't honestly believe Emily left you everything, do you? Half of that fortune should have been mine. I'm just taking what I deserve." "By fraud." I snapped. "Emily is dead." "Is she?" she replied, her tone dripping with mock innocence. "Because legally there's a loophole in the inheritance laws. All I needed were a few forged signatures and some people who can't tell the difference between sisters." Her words sickened me. She had stolen Emily's identity, forged documents, and fabricated a divorce case to seize half my assets. Worse, she had enlisted corrupt officials to validate her claims. But she underestimated me. The next day, I contacted a private investigator I trusted. Within a week, he handed me a file thick with evidence. Surveillance of Vanessa meeting shady fixers, recordings of her bragging about her scheme, even documents tracing the fraudulent filings back to her. But Vanessa wasn't alone. The deeper we dug, the more rot surfaced. A lawyer who knowingly filed the false case, a notary who forged Emily's signature, even a judge's assistant who accepted bribes to rush the lawsuit through. Vanessa had built her entire scam on the belief that no one would question her story. She thought grief had left me too broken to fight back. He was wrong. Armed with the evidence, I filed a countersuit for fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy. When the authorities raided her home, they uncovered an entire room dedicated to her deception. Fake IDs, forged paperwork, and a twisted inheritance plan pinned on the walls like something from a crime drama. The trial became a spectacle. Vanessa's arrogant smirk finally vanished as the judge read the charges. What she thought would be a clever theft became national news. A scandal about greed, betrayal, and corruption. But what cut deepest wasn't the fraud. It was the betrayal of Emily's memory. She had loved her sister fiercely, always believing in second chances, always choosing family. She would have been devastated to see Vanessa twist her name into a weapon. In the end, justice prevailed. Vanessa was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Her accomplices lost their licenses, paid heavy fines and faced permanent disgrace. The fraudulent lawsuit wasn't merely dismissed. It became a case study in corruption. Afterward, I went to visit Emily's grave. I hadn't been in months, burying myself in work and routine. Standing there looking at her name etched into stone, I felt a quiet sense of closure. "Guess what, Em?" I whispered. "Vanessa tried to come back, pretended to be you. But she forgot, there's only one Emily Carter." The wind stirred the trees and for a fleeting moment, I swore I could hear her soft laugh carried on the breeze. In the months that followed, life found its rhythm again, though I was no longer the same. Betrayal reshapes you. It changes the way you see the people closest to you. I began volunteering with a legal aid group, helping others who had been victims of fraud and stolen identities. It wasn't just about moving on. It was about restoring faith in the truth. Vanessa thought she could rewrite the past, that she could steal a life that was never hers. But some things cannot be forged. Some names, some legacies remain untouchable.